Hello everyone, I'm Robert Lirimihio and welcome back to my channel. We are now down with our last video lecture for the sociological perspective of understanding the self. Now let's keep the ball rolling with the self-creation and collective identity. As stated, memory and forgetting are most important powers in recreating the person's identity. Just like the typical story in a television series or movies where characters suddenly transform into a better versions of themselves after experiencing a tragic situations, our past experiences can maybe connected to who we are at present. If you are, for example, a woman or a man-hater, well, maybe because you have a negative encounter with the opposite sex. More so, the nature of ourselves is obtained from the cultural traditions we belong to. So meaning ourselves may be conceptualized as based from our culture, like for example, the practice of one's religion will depend on which religion he belongs to. Or like when you are in the Philippines and you are an Ilonggo, for example, it is expected that you are also malambing or sweet as Ilonggo people are sweet. We being introduced with a new culture makes an individual struggle with that culture to fit into it. Well, you can just imagine the struggles of those overseas workers during when they first stepped into a different country to work. Fortunately, majority tend to embrace the different cultures of the different countries. Well, even to the point, for example, that an overseas worker even already forgotten to speak their own language. But there are also lots of us who, on the other hand, introduce our culture to other nations, as these are evident to the number of foreigners who can speak foreign languages or even sing a foreign song. For George Herbert Mead, the concept of a person holds of him or herself in his or her mind emerges from social interaction with others, meaning for him, oneself is not initially there at birth. Instead, it arises out of our social communication. That is why for Mead, there are two components of the self, the me and the I. The me represents the expectation and attitude of others. It's how you know how others sees you. Just like, for example, asking a woman who told her that she is beautiful, did her mother told her so? Or the view of people that you are a good singer since they always praise you when you sing. Well, if we are aware of how other views us, then the me self is fully attained. The I will be the response to the me. It is how you know yourself. So when someone tells you that you cannot do it, it will be the I who will tell if you really cannot do it. This enters the phrase, it's you and not other people who is more familiar of yourself. So the I is the knower and the me is the unknown. Well, we can become conscious of ourselves if we can participate in different social positions where we can use the experiences we gain in it to become more aware of who we truly are. More so, Mead also recognizes three stages of the development of the self, where the self is only an imitation of those that we observe during the preparatory stage and eventually form a self-concept through role-playing or the play stage and be able to view ourselves in connection to the generalized others or in terms of the viewpoint of the social group. Like Mead, Charles Horton Cooley also believes that the person's self grows out of a person's interaction with others. How we look at ourselves is based on how others perceive us. There are times that we experience that labeling bias, where the way people views us is being affected by a specific label. Like when a car is moving slow, other drivers might think the driver of the slow-moving car may be a lady. Or in the recent is the treatment of people to individuals who are considered to be a frontliners in the pandemic. Some may be distant to the frontliners as one may suspect them to be COVID virus carrier. As a result, these frontliners may experience labeling themselves with how other people sees them, and that is what we call self-labeling. That is when we already adopt others' label explicitly into ourselves, like proving people that you are really a selfish person since they see you as a selfish person. The self-labeling that we do may actually result sometimes to poor self-concept, and that is what we call internalized prejudice. Like when we say women before, they are more inferior than man, so they are being treated unfairly before. But because of this internalized prejudice, there are already movements to empower women nowadays, establishing a gender and development unit or women's desk and any other else that supports women empowerment. Now, among all the discussions that we have made for the sociology topic, we can say that the way we conceptualize ourselves is somehow based on our interaction with other people. But of course, in the end, we still have the power to screen those that will be beneficial to our self-development, and also we possess the capacity to be of a good influence in the development of other people. Thus, we are not mere passive participants in the process of social interaction. Rather, we have the power to influence how the process of socialization and its consequences will develop. And so, our topic for the sociological perspective of understanding the self ends here. Now, if you learned something from our lecture, you can send your comments and share this video to the rest of your friends. And if you wanted to get notified for our succeeding topics, please do not hesitate to click on the like and bell notification button and hit subscribe. See you in our next video lecture.